What is up, demons, on a sinful Sunday night? That's right, the big bad devil daddy himself is back, fresh from the Kansas City Tattoo Convention. And I have some special friends with me tonight. We welcome back the great director, Michael Pickle, and also the producer, James Riviera, and actress, Lexi Graves. And we're going to be talking about all things the dead place. So this is the time. You know what the fuck to do. Share this out anywhere and everywhere that you know there is a horror lover. Wake up your mama, your grandma, your cousin, your sister. I don't care who. Let them know that this is about to go down. And before we get into all things the dead place, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check that shit out. That's right. Villain Arts Tattoos conventions are the largest in the United States. And when they come to your state, your city, your town, make sure you get over there and get a high quality tattoo from some of the best tattoo artists in the country. And I've had an absolute blast in Kansas City. Can't wait for next year. And of course, the Reaper Tour carries on here shortly next month. And I will give you the updates as they come. Good evening, Rebecca, Cody, Thomas, and Heather. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So just so you know, anytime anybody out there in the comment section, you guys have a question for any of the guests here this evening, make sure you type it in there and I'll make sure it get answered. All right. So we're going to be talking about the dead place. So much excitement going on as we're getting ready to finally get to be able to see this soon-to-be classic. So how is everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Really good.
So, well, I'm sorry. One more time.
No, just had some dinner, so we're good.
Awesome. I scarfed mine down as fast as I possibly could. So, all right. So you guys have been really busy lately. Anything from the current Indiegogo campaign and just all the excitement. How's things been going with you, Michael, since the last time we talked to you?
Well, the last time I was on, we were on a roll and all ready to film it and finish it. And we were getting ready to finish it and release it last fall. And then the SAG strike happened. So when the SAG strike hit, that put everything on pause. It kind of struck down our momentum. We only had 2 short days left we had a couple kills to film, but the rest of it was mostly just filler shots and things that we didn't get before. So we were held off all that time just for those last couple scenes, and then finally everything got released. So we were able to schedule those last 2 days. We got it completely edited. We have our composer in place now. We have our sound designer. We have our colorist. So everything's set in motion and ready to release this either late this summer or early fall.
Oh, how exciting. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really realize how badly, the entertainment world got hit with that huge strike.
Yes.
I'm sure it was, frustrating not only for everybody behind the scenes, but especially, everybody that was in front of the camera as well. Was this your first film, Lexi, or have you done some prior work? Let's go ahead and let everybody out in the Morgrot universe know a little bit about your career.
Okay, awesome. So hey guys, I'm Lexi Graves. The Dead Place was actually not one of my first films. I have done horror movies before. I've done The Sawyer Massacre. People may know me from that. And then I've also done Blood Dried Hands, which will be coming out this summer. So I've been
Nice.
acting consistently for about 2 years now.
Very cool. What was it like working with the great David Howard Thornton?
It was awesome. I'll be totally honest. I was super intimidated to be on set with him because, like he just recently blew up. Like his fans will be watching you as well on a film you're working with him. So I was definitely a little intimidated, but as soon as we were on set together, I was very comfortable. David is very down to earth, very welcoming, and he's a goofball. So it was a lot of fun working with him.
He's really good at making everyone comfortable on set, and always breaks the tension, and always telling stories between takes, and he can just turn it on and off. He can just snap out of his evil trance and tell everybody a joke, and then go right back into being evil again.
Yes.
He would be like,
I mean,
he would
go
be
right
in the
ahead.
makeup chair. He would be in the makeup chair, and he would be doing things to like having everybody cracking up. Like he would do Heath Ledger's Joker monologues in a Gilbert Godfrey voice. So he had people busting up and rolling on the floor. And that's one of the cool things about it is his vocal. That's kind of what defines him as an actor, and he's his vocal abilities, and he became famous playing a mime, playing a silent character.
Which is totally crazy. I believe that this is the first time, most Art the Clown fans, of course, actually get to hear his voice.
Yeah.
So that should be really something. We get to hear a little bit of it. I've been talking all day. I'm so sorry. A little bit in the trailer that we're going to be playing a little bit later. Thomas says, Lexi, you better be practicing your autograph. So
I have been. It's still a little sloppy, but I'm getting there.
have you ever seen a signature that wasn't sloppy, though?
No. So there you go. It's one of a kind if it's sloppy, right?
I think the only signature that I ever got in person from one of my all-time favorite influences, Doug Bradley, his I could actually read. But everybody else is just like, wait, and there it is.
Yeah.
So, that's cool, though. Are you looking forward to doing cons in the future? Or actually, have you done any cons yet?
Yes, I have. I've only done one for the Dead Place, and that was so much fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's nothing better than the horror community. They
Right.
always want to support. And what was it kind of like? I know, Michael, you've done quite a few yourself as well. What was the general consensus of everybody like asking you about the film, and how did everyone seem real excited? Or
Yeah, I think everyone did seem real excited. I mean, of course, David's in it, so a lot of people are very hyped to see him actually speak and stuff. And it was just a lot of fun being surrounded by such supportive people and people who love the same things that you love. So I definitely want to do more in the future, Michael. Let's do some more.
Oh yeah. And David would send a lot of people over to our table, and people seemed genuinely interested in what we were doing, and then when we explained the concept to them, they really liked the concept and all the images from the film and stuff. So people seemed to be really excited about it, and they loved the trailer when we showed it at the con too.
oh, awesome! So yeah, how has the campaign been going?
Pretty good. We have one last push going on right now, since we have this, because we have a completely locked video. So the thing is completely edited. Now all we have to do is put the polish on it. So we're funding all the polish ourselves. So we're just looking for this last little push to help us get over the edge and finally finish it once and for all. And this little sale that we got going on ends June 1st. So most of our perks are like 50% off. And it's the last chance for people to get a special thanks credit or an associate producer credit on the film, because that's going to lock down. We're going to finalize the credits on June 1st and get it in there. So one last push.
Yeah.
People just don't realize what it takes to actually get the finished product and finally able for release. Because I've had people ask me like, "Hey, when's this thing coming out?" I'm like, "Man, be patient. Things have happened, so it's coming. Everyone's active and doing a lot of promotion and stuff. So yeah, that's wonderful to hear. What are some of the other perks? Because I'm always telling my viewers and the Morgrat universe that it doesn't matter whether you are able to grab a big perk. I mean, every little bit helps. You actually kind of get a chance to be a part of all of this. So what are some of the other ones you got available?
Well, we have some that are as small as $5 stickers. And then the shirts, we only have we have one small left, and the rest are just a few medium and a few larges. But those are on sale for $20. You can get a still from the movie signed by me for like $7.50. Posters are on sale for $20. So, and just stuff like that. Special thanks credits on sale for just $25. So just everything's slashed right now, just temporarily till we get this last little bit of funding in.
Yep.
Fantastic. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I mean, as you heard it right here, Morgrat Universe, the prices have been slashed. There's no excuse. You're going to go spend that $20 over at McDonald's. Why not give that $20 to a fucking film that is going to be amazeballs? So I definitely know, and I was just looking at it earlier too. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those perks as well. Because, I've been donating to a lot of different indie films currently, and I was like, man, how did I forget about this? There's just, I mean, this time of year, it seems like so many new films are being made, new campaigns are always popping up. So I'm glad I caught that in my feed earlier. So you can definitely expect a donation from me as well. So. Cool. And not to mention everybody in the Morgrat universe, my darker half, Mischief, is also in this film. So we appreciate any kind of support that you can give to this film. So talking about, all the funny jokes and stuff that David was doing in between scenes and whatnot. So it's, I hear this all the time. He's like always telling stories. So, doing Terrifier and Terrifier 2, what stories is he telling? I mean, they got to be gruesome, right?
No, they're actually mostly funny stories. Yeah, David, if you ever meet him, he's like a big teddy bear.
He honestly is, yes.
He is. Yeah.
And I bet most people don't think that's true, do they?
No, because Art is like so insane, but yet David is just like this little sweet person. Like,
he had me absolutely dying when I interviewed him right before The Mean One came out. So this was, I think this was about a week after Terrifier 2 went to theaters. And I mean, he was just absolutely hilarious. But let's talk about more of the cast. You have a wealth of talent. Why don't we go ahead and tell the Morgrat universe about some more of the cast members?
Well, we got Bill Oberst Jr., who plays Papa Corn in Circus of the Dead. He plays the entity, so it's him and David Howard Thornton playing the new kid. They kind of double team our poor young cast and just brings all the evil. And both those together, just their contrasting styles, were great to watch. And then our star Idris Valu, him and Lexi just shined and they really seemed like they were best friends on screen. They mixed
Please
it
tell
up
me.
they mixed it up with the veterans in the movie so well, just as if they were seasoned veterans themselves.
Oh no! Did he leave?
Nice.
Oh, he's back.
Have most of them been in horror films before?
No.
Idris had never been in a horror film before. I know Lexi had, and then
Right.
we had Beatrice Buckley, who plays Idris's grandma in the film, and she was Amanda Kruger in Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
She is just amazing. I love her so much.
And then,
She's a sweetheart for sure.
Angel Bradford, who's blowing up right now. She played one of the bullies in the film.
What? You know, and knowing her personally, I could never see her being a bully. So
Right?
what was
Yes.
that?
She loved playing that role and sinking her teeth into a role like that, like being mean.
It makes you wonder, like, what kind of headspace do you have to get in for that? Because she's such a sweetheart, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So maybe just thinking back when she was a kid, if she had a bully or something, what do you think her process was like?
Well, I think with the way the story plays out, I don't like to be so black and white where here's the bullies and here's the ones they pick on. So it's kind of, they don't really know that they're bullies. They don't like to be called bullies, but they do things that bullies do anyway. So they're kind of oblivious of what they're doing. They think that they're just being themselves.
Ah, nice. What's up, Kyler? Good to see you, long-time viewer. He says, Papa Corn got me a sign, or I got him a signed copy of the Circus of the Dead for his birthday. Absolutely. And he also says hello to Lexi. There we go.
No.
Sorry, everybody out there, if there's like a little bit of a lag. Internet, Wi-Fi, gotta love it. Or hate it, like I do.
Yeah, or hate it. Probably hate it.
Oh my goodness, it's nuts.
Well,
So
I think people are going to love the contrast of our two villains, because Bill O'Burst plays just the downright evil one that just gets inside the character's head and just tells them horrible, mean, evil things. And then David comes along. He's kind of the dark soul that's recruited by the entity. And he comes along and he's wisecracking, and while he's frightening you and scaring you, he's wisecracking and saying jokes and inappropriate things.
which I can totally see him doing. But Bill O'Burst, man, just I've seen him, on so many different projects that he's done, and the what he brings to the table, I think, is really special. So I know for a fact I'm really going to enjoy that when we get to see it as well. So, and I think both of them actually work very well together. Especially on the internet, there's always that Papa Corn versus Art the Clown thing, and here they are working together. How cool is that? It's definitely going to draw from both films, I think.
We cast Doug Bradley at one point.
Yeah, we were thinking about him for the part that Bill O'Burst Jr. ended up getting, but we couldn't get through to Doug Bradley. But that's the type of gravitas that we wanted in that character. One of the producers suggested just get one of us to put on a scary voice and do that part. I said, no, that's not going to do it. it
Come on, Michael.
With really that can really put that evil into their voice. Like you're really scared they're going to come and hurt you.
Come on, let's hear your evil voice. I know you can do it.
It's not very convincing.
No.
We actually did a little project because the suggestion, I'm like, how would that work if one of us actually, and we started reading, I'm like, no, it would be really bad.
It would never work.
No.
I'm sure for most people, it's like you start doing it and you probably just bust up laughing. You're like, this is no good. I don't know. There's just something about Bill's voice that I think is just very maniacal. So I think that was an excellent choice. Um, so
I think he
definitely, I'm.
comes across as kind of wise almost. I don't know how there's a quality
Yeah.
to when the vocal that he puts on for this performance. There's a quality
Mhm.
where he's convincing because he sounds wise and ancient while he's very menacing at the
Yeah.
same time.
That is awesome. And I would think almost in real life, if that was like a legit thing, that's probably how it would sound. So I can't wait to hear that for sure. Kyler says, I love villains that get into the characters' heads. Smart killers are more scary than they know. Oh my goodness. I got you, Kyler. I'm trying to sift through it, brother. Then they know. We'll just say that. Absolutely. And the fact that Bill is driving David's character to do what he does makes it all the better. What were some of your most memorable scenes on this film, Lexi?
Ooh, okay, I can't really give too much away because my most favorite scenes more gruesome ones, so I don't want to give too much away. But I will say one of my favorite things being on set, shout out to Robert Bravo, was watching the start to finish of the special effects.
Mm,
Y'all are gonna die. It is I'm so excited for everyone to see because just watching it on set and experiencing like it on set, imagining how it's gonna look on camera, I'm so excited.
awesome. It's all about practical effects. You
Yeah,
were going to say,
that's
Michael.
Oh yeah, when David transforms into his demon form in this movie, like I showed it to my wife and she gasped out loud. And it was just the raw footage without anything added or any color or anything.
Oh, man.
She was really
Uh,
creeped out by David.
I can only imagine. Especially since I've seen some pictures of it and stuff. So I'm like, woof, definitely knocked it out of the park there. So I take it that most of the effects are practical, no CG or anything like that.
No CGI or anything. And any visual effects we do would just be touching up things here and there, but nothing major at all. No fully CGI scenes at all. I don't like that.
Just seems so much more real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And another thing is locations. I thought the locations that you guys shot at were just amazing. Especially, oh my goodness, Kyler asks, will there be a decapitation?
No,
Fun
that's
question.
spoiler alert. That will be coming up in the sequels. Will be some decapitating in the sequels, but not the first one so far. Almost. We get close to a
Gotta give you
decapitation in this one.
absolutely. Um, I remember when we were had talked before. I was saying about how cool that it gives this film kind of gives me such a somewhat of a 80s/90s vibe. Being centered around a high school and high school life because some of the best horror films
Mhm.
uh, were made kind of centered around that. Was that kind of your intention to kind of make that the bigger part of the story?
Well, a lot of my love for movies stem from the '90s. A lot of my favorite movies happened in the '90s, so I can't help but have a '90s flavor in my movie. But I'd say '90s 2000s is the kind of feel it has to it, and I try to have a mix of music in there. Like there's a lot of indie rock, there's some metal. There's a horror rapper called Poltergeist ODs. He's gonna do the theme song, which is gonna come up in the end credits, which is a very '90s thing. To have your movie play through, and then theme song come on at the end with all the lyrics having to do with the movie. So we're kind of we're gonna have that to do with on the Dead Place. So it's really like, yeah, like I said, like a 90s 2000s type of feel to it.
Awesome. And what kind of metal?
It's this thrash metal. It's Nyctophile is the band where this the guitar player Julian, he's always in a bunch of our projects and he gets killed over and over again in a bunch of my short films. So we put his, like when things really start to amp up in the movie, like it's careening toward a bloodbath at the end, and when things really start ramping up, we kick in with the metal music, and it really kind of kicks the movie into high gear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Death metal might have been a little too strong of a choice, so I think you chose wisely with thrash there. Definitely, you know,
I don't
gets
want
that tension just built.
I don't want to get in trouble with my friend Julian because, like, here's the thing about metal: there's like so many different subgenres, and they're so
Right.
specific. It's like melodic death metal, melodic. Like his is like thrash, but it's something else too. So I wouldn't say it's strictly thrash metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely check out Nyctophile. They're a great band.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to have to. And as a matter of fact, I mean, I'd love to have them on the show at some time. So I'll probably reach out. We cover a lot, mostly like experimental, extreme metal, you know, death, black metal, doom metal especially. And I think a good doom metal band would always add a little flavor to some of the horror films as well. You know, almost like a Typo Negative kind of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and show you a little teaser trailer here of The Dead Place. And you can definitely see why you need to watch this movie when it comes out. Check it out.
I mean, how long is this going to keep going on? It is only getting worse.
You saw something again, didn't you? You know, I was reading that some people are naturally tuned to the spirit world. They see a plane of existence that the rest of us don't even see.
Where's that freak? He's got to be around here somewhere. Playing with a Ouija board.
You know, I was reading about a Ouija board, and I might be able to use one. Contact the spirits. See what they want with you.
Hey, man. How you doing? I'm the new kid. I know exactly how you feel. I don't get along with people either. Personally, I don't think it's me. It's them. I hear you see things. I'm just saying. You know. He's only trying to help you. You're being ungrateful.
I can't tell the voice from my own thoughts anymore. It's not trying to get in. It's coming from the inside. It's telling me to kill everyone.
Man, I just want to go home, okay?
I know. Listen to me. I'm not a killer. I'm not evil.
Just makes you want more, doesn't it? You guys did a fantastic job with that trailer. It's like you give just enough to kind of give you the gist of it, and then it's like, damn it, where does it go from there? Because it's like when his voice starts getting a lot more intense, you're wondering what's happening. So do you think the new kid could become yet another future icon of horror?
I really hope so, because he's sure dedicated to it. Like the way he transformed on, you know, especially being the goofy guy, being his goofy self on set. The way he talks as the new kid is nothing like his speaking voice. Mm-hmm. So he just turns into this whole other person. And the way he described it is he plays Art the Clown as if he's a vulture. And then he plays the new kid as if the new kid is a jackal. So he acts like it's a jackal stalking his prey, and when you keep that in mind, you'll see kind of the mannerisms and the way he does his performance.
Absolutely. And definitely that smile. It's gives you the shivers. A little bit more than your typical like psychotic person. It seems much deeper. Um,
And especially the scenes. I love the scenes with Lexi because Lexi's character is like the picture of innocence. When you watch her in the movie, you don't want anything bad to happen to her. So when he starts lurking around her, you just get this feeling like, oh, get away from her. It's like this evil just lurking around the innocence, you know.
ah, gotta love that tension. Love it. Let's see. Thomas says I enjoyed Sawyer Massacre. Awesome. No. Tyler says, can't wait to see the bullies get messed up. I think we and in such wonderful, tasty ways. But it's awesome to see that you're definitely going to be doing a second one as well. Do you feel like the end of the film kind of gives you that cliffhanger?
Oh yeah, I think watching the finished product, I think we achieved giving everyone a good, solid, beginning, middle, and end, but still feeling like there's more there to be told. And it really, the way we leave it hanging in the end, I think really leaves people wanting more.
Absolutely, because I think, especially the new kid's character, I feel like there could be some really good like backstory. Are you planning on like fleshing any of that out at all, or maybe the demon that's controlling him?
We show a bit of his origin in this, and then we're going to
Sweet.
explore it a bit more as the movies go on. And what's interesting about his character is it gets slowly more powerful through each installment. Like even in this one, he's kind of weak and can't do much at the beginning of this one, but then he's stronger by the end. So then with each movie, he'll get progressively stronger.
Awesome. Definitely love the sound of that. Now, has James worked with you in the past on projects?
A lot. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mike and I have we worked on a lot of things together. We did a horror variety series called Horror Show. It's Pickle's Horror Show. It used to stream on American Horrors. We stopped doing that show, but I think that's kind of where we learned a lot. We learned a lot about the filmmaking process, what goes into it. And we made like 2 seasons of television. It was like short films, skits, all kinds of stuff. And we did it with pretty much zero budget, like no budget at all. He and I both directed and wrote short films and all kinds of stuff. And so doing 2 seasons worth of television within the span of a year with no budget at all kind of taught us a lot how to be resourceful. So even though this is a pretty low budget movie by any standard, it was a big step up from what we're used to doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've worked together on a lot of projects. And we a podcast too. We do a podcast. I almost forget all the things that we've done.
Yeah.
Kind of jacks of all trades. Trust me. I feel like I do about like 4 to 5 shows a week. Not always in makeup, of course, but different topics, metal, pop culture, all that type of stuff. And now I have one show that's like fully dedicated to horror. And sometimes I just don't know if I'm coming or going. So, I've had people ask me, could you ever see yourself directing? And I'm like, probably not. Want me to help with it? Maybe. Because, Angel Bradford, who's in this film, she just directed her debut film with Aprostar. So I don't know. Is it that easy to just kind of step into it, or
no? It's not easy.
Tell it how it is.
It's not easy at all, as you say, but it's satisfying. It doesn't need to be easy.
It's easy to have the vision, but just figuring out how to execute that vision properly and communicate your vision to the others that you're collaborating with. You know, you can naturally have that vision, but just learning to execute it is the challenge.
Absolutely. Speaking of challenges, did this role for you, Lexi, seem, like a kind of like a step up, like a little bit more pressure as far as like a challenging role?
Um, kind of. I mean, I think it was really inspiring playing a character who I'd like to be more like. Catherine is very badass. She's very outspoken, and so it was. I wouldn't say it was very challenging because I had a lot of fun creating her and playing her. So I just had more fun than it was difficult for me.
I feel you already have some of those traits, Lexi.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. For some people, they really have to try to get into the mind of this character, and that it. From what I'm hearing, though, it sounds like you stepped into it pretty easily. Like you could identify a lot with some of the qualities. I mean, I don't know, the roles that I got coming up and stuff. It's definitely like parts of me that I know I can unlock. But a good challenge is always good. But it sounds like, probably the most challenging part was just working with David, because it's like, oh my God, it's David.
Lexi actually got really into it. Lexi did the wardrobe for her character, so she kind of came up with the aesthetic of Catherine. And what's funny, it was pretty close to what Michael was looking for, what he described, what he had conveyed to me when we were talking about it, but different enough that it had kind of Lexi brought a little bit of herself to it. But yeah, those were her costume choices and everything.
As soon as I read the script for Catherine, I started sparking ideas. I opened my Pinterest and I was like, okay, we got to do it. I went out on accessories, on clothing. I wanted her to be like the Cher and Clueless, but like for horror. So I really wanted to go like all out for her costuming. So
nice. No, that's killer. That might actually be something you might be able to work into perks, really, or merchandising, especially like going to cons and stuff. Certain pieces that you wore or something like that. People are always collecting movie memorabilia, and I've been hearing a lot lately that some of the costuming and stuff like that also kind of helps with the Indiegogo as well.
Yeah, our wardrobe person was really impressed with Lexi, because I had extensive discussions with the wardrobe person about these characters, about what their personalities are like, what their interests are, and how they would dress. And then she would start consulting all the different actors. And when she consulted Lexi told her, well, I already have a bunch of examples of what I want this character to look like. And she sent them to her, and she said, I don't have to do a thing with Lexi. Lexi gets it. She seems like she gets the ins and outs of this character. She knows exactly what it's all about.
I just definitely felt like Catherine was her own person, and she doesn't care what anybody thinks about her, so she's going to go all out. So I definitely had to make sure Catherine stood out in her own way.
Hell yeah. And do you feel like, she's kind of like the heroine in the story?
I would say that maybe. I mean,
she's
without knowing,
not so much a heroine as basically the main character's only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's really the only one that's trying hard to help him and gets what he's going through, and is making a real effort to help him.
Nice.
But
excellent.
That double shot of evil is just overwhelming, just too much for her.
Well, anytime you have a double shot of evil, I'm sure that's hard to overcome.
Yeah.
My goodness. At that point, you need a young priest, an old priest, and a rabbi, and everything else under the sun to try to. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Aaron says, that is a very smart way, gaining knowledge, so to be prepared to work at a larger budget. Definitely. I mean, we've seen so many indie films that are shot on, a Miller Lite budget. You know what I mean? But what you guys have managed to create is just something. I mean, just the way it looks, it's got the grit. I mean, personally, I wish I could see this on the silver screen at some point. Which actually, do you have any kind of like premiere plans? Or a way to be able to view this on the big screen?
Well, we have a few distributors that are interested, and every one of them that are interested, we're telling them that we want a theatrical release, we want a release on Shudder, and it has to be a physical release too on Blu-ray. So they're saying they can do that for us. So we'll see. We're in the negotiations right now.
I hope they stick to it, man. That would just be amazing to see it on Shudder even. So, even if it's just like a limited theater run, shoot. But I mean, if you go the full Monty, go for it, man. Absolutely. How do you feel about seeing yourself on the big screen, Lexi?
Oh, I'm gonna love it. I really hope so.
One of the things that I've definitely come to know because another actor friend of mine, Doug Bayless, was also a part of this. Just a big family that you guys have with that whole cast and crew.
Mhm.
Seems like
Yes.
everyone was that kind of like the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
110%.
I think we all had a genuine love for the process, and we all connected with the material, and everyone's seen how motivated I was. It was my passion project for 15 years, and I could tell that everybody really connected with me and could see how important this was to me, and that I wasn't going to steer them wrong. And they just gave me their full trust, and they gave me an excellent performance from the cast and crew across the board.
I was kind of sad, to be honest, when it was ending. I think it was like on the last day and as it was over. It was such a short amount of time. I was like, that's it. It was a little depressing. I'm not when it was ending.
It was a dream for me because we come from a background of no budget stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a budget, it was maybe $4,000 or $5,000 here or there. So this is the first time we've ever had a real budget. Yeah, that is pretty much no budget. So we've gotten so used to working so minimally and having to cut corners so much and having to settle for lesser skilled actors. But to be able to have all these actors at our disposal, and I really I shot my hopes high with the actors, basically, where I wasn't gonna sell myself short. So I ended up doing what didn't make sense to some of the other producers, which is get whoever I needed to get, no matter where they lived, whether they were SAG or non-union. I didn't care. Just get this dream cast together. That's what's most important to me. They thought I was crazy at first, but we ended up achieving it, through thanks to the fans with the crowdfunding and some of the investors that we got, especially Jeremy Dixon.
Mhm.
They just helped us push it over the edge and make it exactly like we wanted to make it, and we didn't have to cut the corners that we thought we were going to have to. And then by the end of it, it became something that I never thought it would. I always hoped that we'd get somewhere close to my vision. That's what that was my highest hopes for it. But the fact that it exceeded my hopes for this vision in every way, that's something that's like a dream come true to me. So I just can't wait to show it to the world and show how everyone came together on this project and made it such a collective thing where if any of these pieces would have been missing, it wouldn't have been the same thing. Like our prop master, Tasha Moth, Lexi as our lead, David, Bill,
Idris,
Nick Fuhrer,
Jake
Diaz, awesome young actor. Just
Joaquin on camera.
Yeah, Joaquin
sound.
Silva on camera.
Like, it's so many that I feel like we're gonna forget people, and it's not a slight because everybody I think everybody brought something unique and meaningful to the project.
Absolutely. I mean,
Susie,
and you can
Aaron,
always kind of see it, even in the teaser, how much you've really put into this film. And that is so true, too, because it's like once you start getting into the process and you're setting up and you're starting to do scenes and stuff, you just don't realize how fast it goes until you get to that final moment. And it's like, damn it, couldn't we just have another day? Can everybody hang out, go to the wing joint, something like
it was like when it was ending, it was like one of those realizations we're back to reality. And you're like, reality is not like movie making all day. You're moving along in this like heightened world that like for me anyway, like navigating back to the regular world with regular concerns was like bizarre after coming off of working on a movie. It didn't feel right.
And yeah, I absolutely understand that. After I did Corn Zombies, it was like, damn it, it was only 2 days. Like, why don't we do some extra stuff? Or I don't know. Then it's like, all right, we're going home. That's how I feel after conventions too. It's like I'll go out of state, 3 days, boom, and I come back. I'm like, because when you start to connect with people, just like all of y'all have in some of the conventions you've gone to, it's like they become part of your family in a way, because they love and appreciate what you do. As a matter of fact, there, Aaron says, so much respect, low budget artistry. I know the feeling. Aaron is also currently doing a film of his own as well. So
congratulations.
You never know.
Yes.
Or maybe best of luck. Because it definitely is not easy to do. And that's crazy to me to think that anyone doesn't think that, if you take a chance on someone who's not a non-SAG actor, somebody maybe even just fresh and new to the business could bring something different. You find some undiscovered talent that way. And I think that was just a brilliant move on your part, because
we really took our time in casting.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We took our time in casting. It was a very long process, and we looked at a lot of people for each role. So it was a very, very careful selection process of narrowing down and picking people, but it was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Did you have any of the cast members potentially in mind beforehand?
David?
No, just David. We had David in mind for the new kid, the main villain. So we had started talking to him, but after that, it was Idris's part, Isaac, that I needed to get before we started the process of making it, because I knew we weren't going to make the movie unless we got the perfect Isaac. And it's that character that lived in my head for 15 years and was just the whole center of the trilogy. And he had to be right. So when we found the perfect Isaac, we knew everything else would fall into place, and it did.
Nice. So did this, when you originally, 15 years ago, I mean, what a journey. And here you are, you have it, it's there. When you first had that idea, was it more of just like, would you say a story, or, did you ever think of it as a book or, a graphic novel, or was it always, this is to be a movie? Because, I mean, you literally had a trilogy in mind, which is amazing.
Yeah, it was all a movie from the beginning, because I had the idea came to me for part 3 is actually what it was. So then I started figuring out, okay, how do we get these characters? I had to create these characters, and then how do we get them to the dead place in part 3? So part 1 and 2 is this whole journey I came up with to lead up to my original idea. And it was originally all one movie, and it was just so sprawling and way too ambitious for, that was one of my rookie mistakes. I wasn't an experienced filmmaker, so I didn't realize how big it was when I wrote it. And then I had a couple, indie directors look at it, and they said, "There's no way an indie director will ever do this, would ever have the budget to do this movie." And then they said, "Well, it explores 3 entirely different themes," which I did on purpose. And then I started playing around with the prospect of, well, since it explores 3 entirely different themes, why don't I split it into 3 movies? And that's when I got Steve Deering involved, and he started going over the script for the first part with me. And he did script coverage on the John Wick films and movies like that. So he's done a lot of really good movies, and he was able to spark my imagination enough to where he gave me enough ideas to really fully flesh it out into its own story. And then now this first part of it has become my favorite part. So now it's up to us to beef up and improve part 2 and 3 to bring them up to the level of this one now.
Oh yeah, I mean, every time you take a crack at it, it's like got to raise the bar for the second one. Honestly, I think that was just a brilliant plan, because I think if you were try to combine all 3 parts into one large film, you might not be able to flesh out certain things like you would want to. So that way, each film explores all 3 of those parts perfectly. So I definitely commend you on that for sure. So can we expect to see Lexi in the next one?
Yes, she'll be. I'll go ahead and say she'll be in the next one for sure.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to give anything away or anything like that. So I'm just like, pins and needles. Is she going to be in the next one?
Yeah, because if the trilogy lost her, then it would lose all hope of redemption at all. Because the evil is relentless, and it takes someone like Lexi to hold it back.
Oh, man. Awesome. He's like, that's right, I'm the queen.
What can I say?
Now, everybody out there in the Morgrot universe, at the bottom of the screen, I've been subliminally messaging you to go to the Indiegogo for the Dead Place, so that you can grab up some of these perks. I mean, they're on sale right now. You can get it at phenomenal prices. It doesn't matter how much you can give. Every little bit helps, because it's not enough just to get the funding just to make a film, but also finishing it as well, because there are so many different hands that are involved and very, very necessary. So definitely make sure you get there. And stay tuned to the Dead Place. Yeah, let's tell everybody where they can find out all the good upcoming info on the film.
Yeah, you just go to any of the social media sites and just search The Dead Place or my name, Michael Pickle, and you'll find out all the information about it. We'll be posting a lot of updates, especially with the final people in place in the production post-production team. And we will be finishing in the next couple months, and we'll keep everybody posted on the premiere and the release and everything else.
Fantastic. So excited for you guys. It's finally going to happen. So, all the wait is going to be more than worth it out there in the Morgrot universe. So make sure you are following them on those socials. While you're at it, give Lexi a follow as well. And see what all amazing things that are upcoming for her as well. I totally appreciate you guys so much for joining me this evening. It's been awesome. I feel like I've been part of the journey with you, since our first.
Yeah.
So, I'm just tickled pink that everything is starting to come together, and we wish you nothing but the biggest success. When the premiere is coming up, everything we'll definitely repost a lot of the upcoming news, so everybody can. There's no excuse while no one knows anything about it, because everybody's on Facebook. You know it.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you this evening. Thank you to everybody out there in the Morgrot universe for joining me on this double shot Reapers Underground week. And we got more programming coming up tomorrow night with Tracks of the Damned, and Carnage and Reapers Backyard Horror Barbecue is going to be on this Wednesday. So me and Carnage are going to be discussing some more awesome films to hip y'all to. So definitely stay tuned for all that. And as you have visions of the new kid dancing in your head in that wonderful red hoodie that he wears, when you see him, make sure to tell him to stay heavy.